Sugar Mama Kandi Burruss has spent the last few decades of her life tricking on Ty Tucker, and the chickens have finally come home to roost.
I am up and down. Obviously, going through a divorce is definitely not the easiest thing.
So today, let's talk about the black tax, that hidden surcharge successful black women pay when we date down, date potential, or date a man who should have been left on red in our DMs, but we decided to marry them anyway.
But black people have a black tax because you're expected to explain the black tax.
Look no further than the Real Housewives of Atlanta cinematic universe for a full case study on why not to do this. So we saw this happen with Cynthia, Phaedra, Eva, and now Kandi. And these women have proven something that we don't talk about enough. Every time an accomplished black woman's standards go low, costs go high. And these women are all forced to pay exorbitant emotional, financial, spiritual, and sometimes physical debts as a direct result. When black women settle, we don't get partners, we get projects. We don't get love, we get labor. And the Housewives has shown us over and over again the exact price of dating men who need us more than they love us.
Said this, shout out to my exes.
Keep going crazy.
Show off your skin, that shit is popping, girl. Body on 10, damn, you got it, girl. You gotta boss up, getting them checks, hitting your base, racks up. Oh, keep walking with confidence. Effortlessly, you let them know who is in command. You just that and more. Don't forget it. God worked hard on you for sure. Lexus, Exodus. Shout out to my exes.
So let's get into Eva Marcille, who falls into this category. And our OG millennials know Eva from America's Next Top Model, which was Tyra Banks' modeling competition show that she was in during the early 2000s. And she was absolutely gorgeous, y'all. Tall, beautiful, and thin, still gorgeous today. And she ended up winning season 3 of the show way back in the day. As a result, she was very successful, appeared in several music videos as a video vixen, also became a television personality and a radio host actor. She even pivoted over into acting and appeared on shows like The Young and the Restless, Tyler Perry's House of Pain, and then eventually we know that she became a cast member on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Eva was that girl. Then, like all these girls who love to dumpster dive for D, she met rapper Kevin McCall in 2013, who was an up-and-coming artist. And he should have been next up because he wrote several songs for Chris Brown and also was a feature in Chris Brown's Deuces. However, they definitely weren't on the same level. At that point, when Kevin met Eva, she had already been the America's Next Top Model winner for 10 years. So she was very famous and very accomplished already, to the point where Kevin publicly shared that when he saw her on television, he was in his bedroom and he said to a relative, "I'm gonna get that be pregnant one day." The ghetto. Woo, child.
Ooh, the ghetto.
And unfortunately, mission accomplished. So Eva's walk was deadly. The face card, don't decline. The resume, it was outside his pay grade. Eva was already 10 years into fame, endorsements, and relevance. They were not on the same level. Eva was at the VIP table, and Kevin was at the coat check. He was valeting the cars and ish. He was standing outside the club. He couldn't even get in. But she ended up still settling for this dude because black women love to give our hearts to hood ninjas. And Eva even admits to it being a whirlwind relationship where she quickly got pregnant 2 months after meeting him without even really knowing him, and gave birth to their daughter Marley with Kevin in 2014. And she says that's when the started, and eventually, thankfully, they parted ways. And since then, Eva has been open about the abuse that she experienced.
About a month after having Marley, it didn't stop. It got worse, and it got worse with her. And the final straw was when Marley was actually in my arms once, and I was like, I can't do this no more.
Oh, oh my God.
Damn.
And how she had to get several restraining orders against Kevin, and how his estranged mother and sister have even had to as well.
He's just so petty sometimes. I've walked outside on my balcony before and he's been standing in the dark.
And how he has a history of violence. And it's clear Kevin still isn't doing well, as he also has openly discussed his struggles. He's gotten into several public spats with Chris Brown and other celebs since then.
If this wrote all these songs that he claiming he wrote, why he ain't write no more? Thank you, K-Mac. I bought this with your money. I bought this with your money. I bought this with your money. I was thinking about giving you this, but I bought this with your money too.
He also vocally talks about how he's broke now and is currently experiencing homelessness and living off food stamps, y'all.
Why the fuck I got an EBT card? And this is at Breezy, bro, and made 90 whatever the million, and it say KKKKK Mac. Can I get 25,000 for them four songs I owe you, bro? I just want to leave, bro.
Leading up to who he is right
I'm not
now.
even tripping though. I got an EBT card, my nigga. Like, what the fuck? I can't even get nothing, bro, man. Y'all want to see me cry in here, so y'all can think I'm a bro. That ain't fair, man.
Hey,
I'm on EBT, bro.
hey,
That's why.
hey.
And to top that off, Eva says that he hasn't seen their daughter in years, as he's financially and emotionally unstable. And Kevin even got into a fight at one of their custody hearings, y'all. So this is what rummaging at the bottom of the barrel for your beau gets you. First off, Kevin is mentally unwell, and that, exasperated by his inability to provide for himself and his family financially, is a recipe for disaster. And this is where the sociology and anthropological lesson comes in. Monetary gain is tied with men's masculinity. And don't blame me, blame the patriarchy. Women are traditionally tasked with everything inside the home, like rearing and raising the children, cooking and cleaning, while men's job is only to provide. And when they can't financially put food on the table or a roof over their family's head, but their woman is able to, they become insecure, resentful, and ego-driven. Then they overcompensate with this bravado and aggression and I'm the man of this house machismo. And that's how emotional instability easily becomes psychological and physical abuse. And I experienced this very thing personally. I was more educated, more accomplished, and more intelligent than my ex-husband. And I didn't initially out-earn him until after we were divorced, but he knew I would eventually because I was simply smarter than him. And he became envious and emotionally, verbally, and physically abusive. Told me the reason why he hit me is because he wasn't a match with me mentally and verbally during our arguments. So he made me suffer for it. Same with Eva and a lot of the girls we'll talk about on Real Housewives tonight. This is part of what I call the black tax, the emotional, spiritual, and physical debt successful Black women pay when we date men below our tax bracket, below our emotional maturity, and below sea level. We pay the costs, we carry the burdens, we wear the weight, and we deserve more.
In the name of all that is holy, would you look at Karen Smith's gym clothes?
Of course, all the plastics are in the same gym class. Where are the plastics?
They're teen royalty. If North Shore was Us Weekly, they would always be on the cover.
We run, hey, 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 what's happening?
That one right there is Ayanna Van Zant. She's one of the dumbest people you'll ever meet. I sat next to her in law school last year and she told me I should date our bus driver. And that funny looking one over there, that's Tyler Perry. She expects women to cape and coddle broke men because she was one and we turned her into a billionaire. She also tells successful Black women to date who can pay the light bill because she secretly does the same thing. And evil takes a human form in Nicki Minaj. She's male-identified and male-worshipping, so hates other women who look like her.
Is it the thanks that I get for putting you bitches on?
She hates Black women so much, she even defends predators and married ones. She even victim blames and makes fun of DV survivors.
No, not that, mama.
Are you tired of constantly being bullied by mules and mean girls? Are you sick of being told to lessen your standards and to ride or die? Are you exhausted from tolerating anything just to say you got a man? Then you're in the right place. Join the Lexus Exodus Patreon private community to meet like-minded, divested women who prioritize self first. In my Patreon, you will participate in exclusive lives, get access to exclusive content, get access to a private community of other divested women, and much, much more. Join us by visiting patreon.com/LexisExodus.
Now let's talk about Phaedra Parks, who illustrates this as well. And Phaedra didn't just date down. When the other girlies went low seeking a man, sis went to hell. Sis pulled a hood, ratchet-eyed love after lockup storyline on arguably one of the bougiest reality TV shows that ever aired, Real Housewives of Atlanta. And Phaedra was an icon who married an ex-convict. And who knows how or when Phaedra and Apollo actually initially met. So we know Phaedra, a fake Southern Belle, Bible beater, who even lied about how far along she was in her pregnancy to avoid owning Christian accountability for getting pregnant before marriage. However, according to Angela Stanton King, the former felon turned activist who wrote an expose on the housewife, her and Apollo go way back.
That was my friend. She knew she had no intention to help me get out of the situation that she created. Somebody had to be the fall guy for the entire operation, and it just happened to be me. So my book is not about vengeance, it's about justice.
And they all ran an illegal car theft ring together where Phaedra was the mastermind of the enterprise, but only Apollo and Angela were left holding the bag. And allegedly, Phaedra left Angela to die in prison back in 2004, but opted to be a prison wife who dotingly waited and cared for Apollo until his release, marrying him fresh out of prison, funding his lifestyle, and having kids with him. This is a whole attorney moving like this, y'all. So for all of these years, Phaedra spent all this time attending law school, passing the bar, fighting cases.
Win a case. Yeah. Well, honey, you stay out of a case.
Win a case. All to risk losing her legal license, her career, and her education for a broke, light-skinned, El DeBarge-looking felon. Then found herself blindsided when he went back to prison for fraud just a few years later, child. Go away from me with this, Apollo.
Go away from me with this.
And Apollo served 8 years for a 2014 conviction on charges including conspiracy to commit mail fraud, bank fraud, wire fraud, and identity theft. And they ended up divorcing in 2017 because you don't win when you playing dirty, Phaedra.
Never can win when you're dirty, honey. You never can win.
So he was eventually released from federal custody in November 2019 with the remainder of his sentence consisting of 5 years of probation. And just a few months ago, Apollo was arrested for alleged DV after an incident that occurred with his second wife. What did Phaedra say?
Honey, you don't know if your baby daddy will be an axe murderer or a child molester, because what you will know is that he needed $10 to get him a medium-sized pizza, so he ejaculated in a cup so you could have a kid. Now check that.
Pot meat kettle, Keurig meat teacup. This is what happens when Black women spend decades grinding, fighting adversity, breaking ceilings, getting degrees, achieving excellence, and building reputations, only to dumpster dive for a partner who can't match our level on any level. We pay for it every time. Phaedra dated down, so she paid the bill. Her peace gone, her reputation damaged, her image dragged, her career jeopardized, her dignity tested. This ain't ride or die. This is I chose to ride and I died. This is the Black tax. When Black women date men who need saving, we end up serving the sentence and paying the price. Let's get into Cynthia Bailey, who also illustrated this as well on the show. And Cynthia, again, wasn't just pretty. She was the full package. Statuesque, poised, intelligent, walking around with cheekbones sculpted by God himself. She was a model as well and an actress since a teen. She was hitting runways as a young adult in Milan and Paris. She was successful early and often, and she debuted on Real Housewives of Atlanta in 2010 and became a fan fave instantly. And she was a runner, child. I loved Cynthia at first. Cynthia's storyline was that she'd been engaged like 5 times but never walked down the aisle because she had extremely high standards. She was picky, as she should have been, but then she met Peter Thomas and settled. And in 2010, she finally said yes to a man that she should have said absolutely not to. And Peter was a mess. He was financially unstable and engaged in illegal, shady activity, but Cynthia still married him. And there were signs and major red flags.
Not right now. I think one of his investors kind of fell through. Check bounce. Check bounce? Mm-hmm. He had, how many investors he got? You know, part of me, of course, felt like, well, I can't, help you. This is how it all started with Uptown. You say he was looking for another investor. Would that be you? My dilemma as his wife is, okay, I know we have this thing coming up in a couple days. If I just help out to get past the sneak preview.
What? Oh my God, I forgot to bring the license. Okay, like Reverend? I mean, what do you do when you forget the license? Like, at home? You can get married? Oh my God, okay.
Somebody can go to the house right quick, right?
Okay, where's somebody? So apparently in the state of Georgia, no one can perform a wedding ceremony without a valid marriage license. What did you ask about the license?
She asked me, did I have it? I said, no, I don't have it. She sent it just a few minutes ago. I'm telling you, she don't have it. You have to have that.
Of course I have to have it.
I don't think let me ask her. I'll be back.
Hurry up! Go, ask her. Go, because we have to have it. We're going to be late.
Do we have to have this marriage certificate?
He says they won't be legal.
He's not going to do it, but do you think we should get to it?
Cynthia proceeded to walk down the aisle still, because while white girls are taught hypergamy and to meet their husbands in college before they head to medical school, while other cultures are told to marry for financial security and that they better not dare leave their father's home until a man can assume the sole responsibility of taking care of them, Black girls are taught to expect nothing from the men that we partner with, and even mentioning money makes you materialistic and a gold digger. And as a direct result, Peter wasted her money inside the marital home, opened a new business every 6 minutes, bars, lounges, restaurants, a whole folder full of failed LLCs and come and sue signs that never came. There were clips of Bar One's general manager and workers complaining about not being paid going viral.
Tell y'all how Bar One Miami scammed me out of working for free. They won't pay me my money.
I'm coming in Bar One. As y'all know, I'm the manager. And I took a stand against Peter and his business because my employees need to be paid.
You have been dragging Peter over him stealing his staff's money.
There were even allegations of sexual harassment. And there were physical charges as well after he harmed Tammy Rivera's niece, who worked at one of his clubs.
He put his hands on her. He choked her. She called me outside the restaurant crying.
It was a mess, and thank goodness they eventually divorced because Peter was a walking liability. So Cynthia finally said, bye, Ashley.
Bye, Ashley.
Have a nice day.
Bye, Ashley.
Fast forward to now. Peter is in even deeper mess and more trouble. He just got sentenced to 18 months in federal prison in order to pay $2.5 million in restitution to the IRS, all because he had to plead guilty for failure to pay trust fund taxes after prosecutors said he evaded more than $2 million in employment taxes for several of his businesses between 2017 to 2023. So essentially, he was withholding taxes out people's checks, but not using them to pay his taxes. And this is why Cynthia, a world-traveling, high-earning, internationally successful Black woman, should have kept those high standards. Because every time a successful Black woman says, you know what, maybe I'm being too picky, the universe sends a man like Peter to remind her that she was absolutely right the whole time. This is the Black tax, the emotional, financial, and spiritual debt that comes due when Black women date down. Cynthia had options. She had the resume, she had the look, she had the beauty, she had the money. But because she didn't marry someone who had the same, she ended up paying that debt back with interest. And that's how the Black tax works. When Black women settle, we don't just get heartbreak. We get emotional turmoil, embarrassment, anguish, and IRS bills. And like Cynthia, Kandi also became famous and very successful while she was very young. She was in the very famous and accomplished R&B group Escape back in the early 90s, and they released their first album when she was just a teenager in 1993. And they immediately were very successful and a hit with urban audiences and were Grammy nominated, sold more than 12 million records in the U.S. alone, and scored a total of 6 top 10 Billboard Hot 100 songs. And here's the thing that most people don't understand. When successful Black women get famous young, dating your equal becomes a math problem that simply does not compute. The math ain't mathing. Like, where is an 18 or 19-year-old boy her age supposed to get multi-millionaire energy from? You know, he's working at Foot Locker or McDonald's. So I think this happens often to child stars like Kandi Burruss. They get famous so young that in order to date their equals, they would need to date much older. Otherwise, they're forced to date down. And I think they do that. And it ends up just becoming a habit that they become accustomed to dating beneath their leagues, and they stick with it throughout their lives. So anyway, the group disbanded, and Kandi, being the pivot princess she is, went on to become a Grammy-winning songwriter. She's penned several hits for groups like TLC, Destiny's Child, Ariana Grande, Peep, and Ed Sheeran. Basically, your whole playlist, sis. So Kandi been in her bag, her Birkin bag. She been in her Go Yard, You Go Girl. So her being cast on Real Housewives of Atlanta was not a surprise. And Kandi Keep a Job Burruss didn't stop there. That was just the beginning of her building her empire, honestly, because she was the first of the Black Real Housewives to understand that the show was a massive platform and a great opportunity to advertise your own business. So she wasn't there just to fight and to throw drinks and cry on TV. She was there to advertise. She was there to market. She treated that show like Shark Tank. So she flipped the bag and doubled it real quick. She launched a successful adult toy line called Bedroom Kandi.
Kandi has a lot of ventures going on, including Bedroom Kandi. It's a product line made for couples who want to keep things hot between them.
She also launched Kandi Coda Cosmetics and opened several restaurants like the Old Lady Gang and Blaze Steakhouse. She also produced several plays and was cast in drama series like The Chi. She won the 3rd season of the Fox competition series, The Masked Singer.
It's a big deal to win, but you're the first woman to win The Masked Singer. How's that feel?
It feels great. That was like really my goal, and used to everything that was happening on the show, I was like, wait a minute, no other woman has won this. I have to do it.
Additionally, she also placed 5th on the 2nd season of Celebrity Big Brother on CBS. She also began to do work on Broadway as well. And instead of dating the male version of herself, who was equally as ambitious and as successful as she is, she decided to date the help. Not the assistant manager, not the co-producer. She dated the line producer, the man who hands out call sheets and granola bars. And she ended up marrying Tony Todd back in 2014. And because when Black women date down, the costs are high, they're now divorcing. Womp, womp, womp. And there were several warning signs from her peers.
Mama Joyce feel that Todd is opportunist. And I say, he is.
The fact that your husband has other chicks who he goes with in different states. Matter of fact, why don't you call Todd and ask him about what he just told a girl in New York this past weekend? Telling him his name is Marvin.
Okay.
So that he can cheat.
Be a little cautious. That's all I'll say.
You know, Todd was always on the come up.
You know that means you're getting with someone who has more money.
But all I'm saying is he always found himself in a better situation.
He dated my girlfriend Ani, that he did cheat on her and break her heart. Todd knew how to swerve. Todd was always looking to find a better situation.
So we good. I came up.
Yep, at the end of the day, you all love each other, and that's all that matters.
From her elders.
I do feel you're opportunist.
What do you think I'm getting out of it?
What you getting out of it?
I love her to death.
Well, you gonna have to prove that to me now. I got my, and I got people that they get back to me.
I don't want you to marry.
Why?
I just don't, baby.
I don't either. Don't let me catch you. Now, let me tell you, ain't no river high enough. Ain't no ocean deep enough. Ain't no desert hot enough to keep me off your ass, baby.
Also from Tony Todd himself.
I'm smashing one of your friends?
Hell yeah.
If we went together no more, yes. I'm smashing all Kandi's friends if we single. I'm the whole down. I'm gonna say Portia, okay? Then I'm gonna say Portia. Then I'm gonna say Portia again.
I mean, damn, can we have sex more than once a week?
Let's be real. I'm not Tyson Bedford. You're not Rihanna.
I mean, I know Rihanna is hot and everything, but you ain't gotta try to diss me telling me I'm no Rihanna.
I feel like y'all past y'all prime, like past y'all like fine days. Or do you think with makeup and lipo and all of this stuff, you guys are able to extend being fine?
No, it's not. I'm like, dude, I got Go.
It's not the urge. The Benz is looking polished. It's not looking dusty, crusty, whatever that was. But
Musty, crusty,
she
dusty.
just took a shower. She's oiled up. The hair is da-da-da. She's about to put on the heels.
No, it does. It requires you catering and
But
showing.
every man doesn't require being catered to. Some people do like being catered to. Some people don't. They just don't want to, some men just want to cater to you.
Yeah, but y'all ain't finding those right now.
Them niggas out.
Y'all a little older. Y'all
Whoa.
aunties. I don't know if they do that to the aunties.
He had a lot of jokes about how he done been up here, went to my old house where the other dudes had been before.
Every dude from.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
I ain't gonna say
Now,
that.
I bought that house when I was 19. That's
Right, so y'all know who and how many was on that motherfucker. I was like, can you at least flip the mattress?
He can say whatever he wants about it not being about the money. It's why he doesn't like the prenup. But meanwhile, his attorney is sending notes, and all those notes are about money. I really feel like.
For example, Christmas. She wanted these earrings. My budget really wasn't there, but I did what I had to, and I got those earrings for her. Right?
I decided to sign a prenup against my lawyer's advice. In the end, I know all this legal stuff is not going to keep me from being with Kandi. You do many of these on the day of the wedding?
I have done a couple.
Yeah.
You understand that you're giving up your rights to periodic alimony, lump sum alimony, alimony in kind, attorney's fees, and expenses of litigation, property settlement, equitable distribution, and community property.
Yes.
You believe that the provisions of the prenuptial agreement are fair, just, reasonable, and equitable.
Yes.
You are signing the prenuptial agreement freely and voluntarily without coercion or other undue influence by wife or any third party.
Yes.
Even in divorce, I don't think it's right when men be trying to take half of the women. I don't think it's cool. Like, I feel like a man should always be a man and be able to handle his own or whatever, right? So,
So you gained your money while the man was with you, and he nurtured you, he helped you, he gave you ideas, he was a part of that, that progression. You don't think he should get anything? You did it all.
And then there were the extracurricular activities, the threesomes, the arrangements, the open relationship, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith vibes. Side note, Kandi gets big D energy. She get big strap energy, big dick energy. She gets who doing the vending. She's giving, I built the house, I own the house, I fixed the house. And y'all thought she could marry the help and live happily ever after? Be serious. And again, regardless if y'all agree with this or not, for centuries, men were told the only thing they needed to do is provide. So if a woman drastically outperforms a man financially, his ego takes a nosedive. And these dudes tend to cheat to overcompensate with what they lack financially. So now he got to stay out all night and close the club like Kandi was complaining about, just to feel like the man. He's also a little guy, so we know Todd is like 5'1", so he likely suffers from a Napoleon complex as well. And ain't nothing worse than a little man with little pockets. The streets been talking about his wayward ways, so of course Kandi filed for divorce. And as a woman, I think if I'm cooking and cleaning, raising and rearing the children, going home to cook the bacon, then going out and earning it, wearing the pants and the panties, doing backflips in the bedroom, munching carpet, and doing threesomes and shit, you still cheating? Yeah, that's bound to build resentment, and it's not going to work out. That's setting yourself up for failure. And I personally could never respect a man I out-earned because as a Black woman living in a racist patriarchy, I have 2 strikes already against me. If I can do well under those circumstances as a Black woman, what's your excuse? And someone also said Polly Pocket openly admitted he was never really attracted to Kandi. That's been the rumor, that he simply wanted her because he's an opportunist and saw her as a come-up. They saying it was a scheme that Todd set up to come with her with the bullish. So while Kandi was out collecting Trump checks, Tony Todd was cashing them all. And I believe that to be true.
I said what I said.
And I don't know why y'all had this idea that only women can be gold diggers. Thankfully, Mama Joyce was in her daughter's ear the whole time, and there was a prenup. And we all thought the prenup was airtight, but Tiny Todd is challenging it, claiming that he was under duress because he was pressured to sign a day before the wedding and did so without his attorney present. He is also requesting primary custody of their children, saying that Auntie ATM travels a bunch, and he is typically the primary caregiver because Kandi is always working. So essentially, he pulling a Drea Michelle, Brittany Renner, video vixen, groupie type move, and is requesting a bag on a monthly basis and child support from Throw It in a Bag, Kandi Burruss as well. Child. And these are all legitimate legal arguments, y'all. So don't think just because Sugar Mama Kandi came in this situation guns ablaze with her legal team that she'll leave this unscathed. Everything is up for debate in the court of law, and it's simply based on interpretation and can be contested, especially because they have several children together where he can argue he needs Kandi's money in order to be able to maintain a certain lifestyle for their kids. Also, Kandi and the pocket-sized producer have been together for a long time. So all of this is a valid argument. This isn't some fly-by-night marriage that was over in just a few months where it was an annulment that occurred. No, they were together and built a life together for over a decade. So best case scenario, we'll see that Polly Pocket will leave with half the assets they cultivated during the marriage. But worst case, it is very plausible that he can walk away with some things that Kandi built before the marriage as well. And in any event, Todd's still going to leave with a pretty penny because a lot of the businesses that they built were established after the marriage. And a lot of this stuff was inspired from them being on the show. Never forget that freaky burlesque tour that came from Portia Williams accusing them of having an ex-dungeon in their basement. Kandi said, okay, sis, you want to spread rumors? Cute, let me turn that into a coin real quick. The Old Lady Gang, that restaurant only existed because the aunties were dragging Todd on camera every season and the fans said, get on the show. So Kandi did, and she built a whole brand behind this. And a lot of money came from ideas that were born after the marriage. So he's going to get a lot of that money. But let's be very clear. Those businesses didn't exist without Kandi's name, her fame, capital, and notoriety. Not Todd's. Kandi was a face. Kandi was the brand. She was the engine. She was the foundation that laid the platform for all of this. Tiny Todd was the guy making sure the backstage snacks were stocked. He was the help. I don't care how supportive he was or how many camera batteries he charged or how many times he said, I'm proud of you, babe. The empire was built off her back, her money, her foundation. But because of marriage law, whatever they built off her brand will now be split with him. And this is why successful Black women cannot, should not, and must not date down. It has never worked in the history of the world. Poor Mary J. don't even look happy on stage anymore. And every time she performing, it's given, I'm doing this just so I don't get fired because she been forced to tap dance because she got to pay back alimony. Same with Wendy Williams. She got so used for her money and relationships. She cracked out somewhere in a corner sitting in a straitjacket. But honestly, do y'all believe if Kandi pulled an Eve and married a billionaire that we would be having this conversation? Because the billionaire ain't trying to take her money. He already has his own. You know, a billionaire husband would be too busy checking his stock portfolio to even be involved or thinking about a bedroom, candy, and makeup and X toys. Remember how Jeff Bezos gladly gave his wife $38 billion in their divorce settlement. Meanwhile, Black women squabbling over pennies because we want to find our men in the bargain bin. Dating your equal removes all this. It avoids the chaos, the ego bruises, the opportunism, the leeching, and the threats to your peace. But dating down, dating beneath your tax bracket, your ambition bracket, and your emotional bracket, that's how you end up paying the Black tax. So what do all these stories have in common? Simple. When Black women settle, you don't get partners, you get projects. You don't get stability, you become the stability. You don't get love, you get labor. And every time you elevate a man who doesn't match your ambition, your money, your mindset, or your maturity, the universe sends an invoice. And the cost is your peace, your finances, your reputation, and your time. So let Kandi, Cynthia, Phaedra, and Eva be the syllabus. Stop dating men whose lives improve the moment they meet you. Stop taking charity cases. Don't mistake philanthropy for romance. Black women are not rehabilitation centers. And settling is not humility. It's not being humble. It's self-sabotage. A man without confidence will take yours. A man without peace will take yours. A man without money will take yours. That's the Black tax. So what are y'all's thoughts about this? What are y'all's thoughts about Kandi's divorce and about women who tend to date down in general? Do y'all think there's a situation where that could ever work out in marriage, where a woman out-earns her husband? I'm so curious to hear y'all's thoughts. Until next time, see you guys. Bye.
Give a fuck. Even if you think I should, bitch. Nigga, I don't give
If y'all come across a red iPhone, can you please bring it to the sound stage? Red iPhone, appreciate it.